Hello, folks, and welcome back for the last game of the game. We've got Church of Alfonso versus Team Azorth, and I am Shargan coming at you, joined once again by RLS's War Leader.
Yeah, happy to be here in what should be an absolute banger of a game. Both of these teams super aggressive, and you could say many other things about their gameplay, just very sporadic and scrappy, and I'm really excited to watch the Church of Alfonso play Team Azorth.
Scrappy, skirmishy, you got so much going off, and already we can see that a lot of those skirmisher champs are taken off the board. You've got rid of the Rise and the Aphelios, very smart bans from the side of Team Azorth, and then you got the Jarvan being taken away as well from the on side of Church of Alfonso.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of Jarvan bans. This champion really able to decide the pace of games, and taking that away is pretty common. Going to take that away from Itre. Also going to take away Kaisa. Not a champion we've seen too much in the bot lane, but Gua is a very good Kaisa player. Had some crazy.
He loves those peaches, absolutely.
Yep.
And with that, let's see over here. So I have a feeling that we're going to be seeing something scrappy coming out for the side of Team Azorth. This is going to be really interesting to see what they end up picking up. Well, most likely we see that the Swain is still open, so that's definitely a possibility. We know Anbo really likes that Swain. Taking away the Alistair does kind of give me the feeling that that's what he's going to be wanting to go into. Again, we see the Amumu pickup as round one. Definitely pick or ban. Pretty much a staple at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Amumu is just so effective in that support role. Also has the ability to flex to the jungle, but I'm not sure we've even seen it go jungle yet. It's just so good in support.
I think we've seen it one or two times because it's still like that's where his home is. That's where he is most comfortable, it seems. Although it does look like he's very happy with making a bunch of new friends. So with a good response coming out from Azorth with the Galio pickup, most likely that's going to be put into the mid lanes. We have seen Shadows play it a little bit to a great effect, but I do know that Anbo is also familiar with the champion as well, so it could end up in the support role if necessary. And then it's just basically, I'm thinking we're probably going to end up seeing a Jinx or something of that nature coming out from Gua.
Yeah, oh, and there's the Swain, likely for Anbo, that you were talking about. It's a champion
now we can swoon for Swain.
Yep, Birdman is back again. Down in that bot lane for the Bird team themselves, Team Azorth. Gangplank would be a really interesting response from Church of Alfonso. Just a blind blue side second pick Gangplank would definitely be really interesting. We'll have to see if that comes through. It looks like it does.
It is going to come through, and for K1ZZ, we have seen him pick up a lot of like engage, like the Camille, Wukong kind of fighters. So Gangplank is a good option to try and zone them off, keep them from being able to go in. And over on the side of Gua, because we know we're going to be seeing that coming up here shortly, is like we've just seen hit so much of his Kai'Sa that there's not a lot of other picks open. So taking that away is a really good ban on the side of Church of Alfonso. Still not sure what we're going to be seeing coming out for him yet, but we do have the Senna pickup in the bot lane, so that's going to be a very hard disengage comp and a very long-range poke comp coming out from Church of Alfonso, so that means that Gua and Anbo are going to have a little bit of trouble doing their normal kind of fighting that they like to do early on. With this Kayn pickup, that's another timer that Team Azorth have put on themselves, because now they basically have to wait until Kayn is ready to come online with his transformation before he's really able to do much on this map.
Yeah, the Kayn pick's really weird to me here. I'm really curious to see how B-Try plays it, because it's definitely a really awkward pick.
We have seen him play it a couple of times. One game, not so hot. One game, he was absolutely popping off. He went 11-5 and 16 on it. So it is a champion that he's relatively comfortable with. And so most likely that's the reason they picked it up, because he's like, look, I don't mind getting counterpicked. I know how to play the champ. So I'll be able to use that. And then as we look at these bans, we see that the Camille and the Lissandra have both been taken away. So it looks like they are trying to force K1ZZ onto something like the Renekton or the Wukong or the Mordekaiser. Be kind of like curious as to which one he's going to end up picking up. Pay time, very comfortable with a lot of those matchups, I believe. And then you see the Ziggs and the Victor taken away from RHC, something we've seen them use to great effectiveness. There's the Samira pickup. Okay, so it looks like Team Astro is like, okay, we've already committed to this hard engaged bot lane. Let's just go all out. Good choice too, because that is going to allow Samira to block the bandage toss. So they will be with that blade roll. So they will be able to try and negate some of the CC if it's used effectively. And the Zac pickup is a basically a response to the Kayn. Good response, because he's got a lot more sustain in those early team fights. So he's going to be able to basically take Kayn on. And then it's just a matter of this point seeing what they're going to pick for that mid lane, which is going to be the Echo.
Echo's a really interesting pick, but going back to the Zac pick, I actually really like it into Kayn. One of Zac's weaknesses as a champion is in the early game, you can get invaded a lot, and to just have a lot of your early game go sour because your 1v1 is just really poor. But Kayn, as a champion, really relies on the transformation to be able to thrive in skirmishes. So Zac is just a really solid pick into it that gives Church of Alfonso really solid engage combined with the Amumu, really solid team fight combined with the Amumu, and the response of the Viego is really interesting.
With the Viego, no, I think that that's going to be, it's going to be really interesting to see exactly where that goes. I am excited to see already that the Viego pickup just kind of, I'm a little blown away, so I want to see where it goes. It's going to the top lane on K1ZZ.
Yep, I think that's what makes the most sense. You can't really send Kayn to a lane, and Galio top isn't that great.
Yep.
So
okay, so I just want to say I was completely wrong with the way COF was going with this. I was so we've got the Zac in the support, we've got a Mumu in the jungle, and Echo in the top lane, and Gangplank in the mid lane versus the Galio. That's some good rotation right there.
That's some crazy rotation. I'm really curious as to their thought process of why they swapped the Zac and the Amumu, because maybe Paytime knows something about the matchup that I don't, but I really like Zac and Kayn, and Amumu has been better in the support role, although we've seen both of these champions have some minor FOF of success in these roles, so nothing too crazy, but the Echo top is definitely new. I wonder if they just knew that they could flex it, or if they picked it, or if they flexed it because it's a Viego specifically. But that's just a super interesting pick. We'll have to see how it goes down in K1ZZ's Viego.
Yeah, no, so K1ZZ's Viego is going to be really, really cool, and I'm kind of looking forward to seeing exactly how it plays out. So I do believe that Zac's stretchy arms do not count as a projectile attack because it's an auto attack. So because of that, the blade roll will be completely ineffective against it, which is really smart on the side of giving that to Beshiwap. We have seen Beshi play Zac support a couple of times, so this is going to be really, really interesting.
Yeah, I would be really surprised if actually that first Q skill shot isn't a projectile. That would be really shocking to me. But you can definitely use the skill shot aspect onto a minion, and then auto attack would definitely not be taken by the blade roll. So a really solid CC option, and that's actually probably why they wanted the Zac support rather than the Zac jungle, is for that specific interaction with Samira that should help this Church of Alfonso bot lane find some early opportunities on Takua.
We can already see right now that obviously we've got the standard clear coming up from Kayn. He started Raptors, worked his way to red buff and Krugs. Now he's going down to the bot lane. We do see bot is already pushed up pretty hard, but mid lane is ripe for a gank.
Yeah, absolutely. RHC is pushed up a little far. We can see the Kayn go towards that.
He did start. We do see a nice bit of damage coming out from LTY as he goes in onto K1ZZ. It's really, we got a nice look at this. We're gonna have a stun here. Oh, but we see K1ZZ just getting outside of it, but the Z damage is gonna come out. We see the tower shot coming out though. That's gonna be a 1-for-1, but the first blood's gonna go over to the side of Echo.
Yep, getting that first blood down, going to be really nice for the Echo in the top lane. We'll have to see if teleports are used. Looks like Viego is going to teleport up to the top lane. We'll have to see if the Echo matches that in response. Nope, he's going to walk it, so
Yep.
Viego should be looking to try and crash this wave if he can. Don't think he'll be able to before the Echo gets there, so that's going to be a teleport advantage for the Echo in this early game. So far, because in the jungle, the Kayn is going to be slightly ahead because he opted to clear all 6 of his camps, while Amumu only cleared 5, but Amumu is going to look for the invade onto this Raptor, is probably going to stay there till it spawns. Kayn is looking for Amumu's Raptors, but they're not going to respawn for just a little while longer.
Yeah, it's going to take a little bit longer for that, and at the same time, we can already see that Kayn is walking over a ward, so they are aware of him being in the bot side jungle. He is waiting in that tri-brush. They're kind of like not sure what exactly he's going to do. Just a nice bit of hovering. We see that the engage right here from Paytime as he goes in onto Shadows 21. They do get a nice bit of damage off, but there's no summoner spells that need to be burned to stay alive.
No, it's just a little gank, get some pressure for your mid lane. Get some damage down into the Galio. Maybe you can force a back soon.
Something spicy right there, which you do see that Paytime does go in, stops the Kayn from B-Try from being able to pick up the last of the Raptors, and he is going to go in on this fight. B-Try is getting a nice bit of melee stacks, though, by engaging onto this Amumu, so that is going to be to his advantage. We do see a nice rotation coming down from Galio. This fight is still going. RHC is basically the one who's caught up in the middle, but at the same time, we just see that Kayn is a little bit one-track minded going for this Amumu.
Nah, he's trying to get out of there. He knows that the bot lane from Church of Alfonso is coming for him and is going to try and escape through Amumu's jungle. Not going to stop for those wolves. No, Paytime is right on his tail end and is actually going to make it out of there. Kayn is such a slippery champion that way.
He really is. That was really well done by Church of Alfonso to kind of like force him out of the jungle. That he didn't get as much as he wanted from that Raptor camp because Paytime was able to smite it away. So that's going to basically make the invade a win for Church of Alfonso in that sense. Although we do see the Drake is up and there's not a lot of vision set up around there yet, but there is no bot side jungle for Paytime to take before he has to go over there.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how this Drake goes down. It's a little awkward for both of these junglers right now, and it's likely going to rely on which bot lane has the most pressure. One thing that I didn't think about the Zac support is that it's definitely a better pairing if it's going to be farming. Just scales better with items than the Amumu does. So having the Zac farm in the bot lane definitely starting to make more sense of why they went with the Zac support pick. I actually really like it.
It does work out a lot better in that sense. Plus, you've got the half Guardian Angel that's going to keep you alive in these early engages, which we obviously were aware that TAS like to do, just like that. Nice bit of damage coming out. Not a kill because they're just not able to shred through the tankiness that they have on Beshi. We do see Kayn is hovering over by this Drake, not going to be sneaking it. He is going. That is going to be the smite taking away the Scuttle Crab once again, as unfortunately Kayn smite was on cooldown. Nice knockup coming out from Shadows 21 as he is not able to get the taunt off onto LTY. The TP is coming out though from RHC, so that's going to be the mid laner joining it in the top lane. At the same time, in this bot side, we see that the Drake has already started. There's a lot of prio on the side of Church of Alfonso, though, as they're able to jump into Onbo. Onbo's going to go down to the Ignite. Bechuwa picking up that kill. Paytime getting really low, though. He's going to fall to B-Try. B-Try is able to pick up some extra souls because of that, and that's going to be a double kill for B-Try. I believe they're just going to give the triple kill over to him at this point, or they're going to let Gua take it so he actually gets some gold in his pocket.
Yeah, that's just absolutely not a Drake that Church of Alfonso can be taking. You blew a teleport and a global going up to the top lane to respond. And yeah, the Galio went too. But in terms of this 3v3, we saw that Asorth was just stronger than them, and they didn't even have to use the TP advantage that Galio had for that. If they needed to, if that fight was a little more dicey, I think Shadows 21 could have teleported down to that fight and made it even more lopsided. So Church of Alfonso making a mistake thinking they can take that dragon when they couldn't. Good response from Asorth, takes it away from him.
Yep, takes it away, and with that leaves a couple summoner spell advantages for the side of Team Azeroth because of that TP that you mentioned, but also because the TP for K1ZZ is going to be coming back very quick, very soon now, and we have RHC not going to be having theirs for quite some time in LTY as well. It's going to be interesting to see if Team Azeroth is able to play around that, take advantage of that, maybe use it for the Rift Herald or something of that nature. Other than that, getting that first Infernal Drake over to the side of Team Asorth is going to mean that they are able to get some extra damage off early, and depending on what soul ends up popping up, it could be going very, very well for them.
For sure. It could be the Ocean Soul or the Mountain Soul, and every team loves an Ocean Soul. I think Mountain Soul would be pretty good, mostly for the side of Church of Alfonso, with those big hyper tanks with Amumu and Zac both being able to benefit massively.
That massive shield is just going to be so much more useful for TAS, just because it'll protect them from all of the bursts that'll be coming out of that Gangplank.
Yeah, for sure. So both of these souls are going to be really good for both teams, and so far that first dragon has gone the way of Asorth, as has the gold lead. Very small 200 gold lead.
K1ZZ getting engaged on, taking that time shot right to the face.
Yep. Just taking a lot of damage up on the top side. It's gotten pretty even. LTY is going to look for an opportunity.
Oh, we got the parallel convergence coming out right now. We got a couple of bits of damage as well coming out for K1ZZ. K1ZZ getting really low. He's going into this fight, though, on LTY. He's committed. We do see the Chrono Breaker coming out, which means that he's going to stay alive. Unfortunately, that means that it's going to be a dead Viego as he takes down the Ruin King, but we've got a bandage toss catching out Shadows21. Getting the taunt off, though, is going to pull him under tower. He's going to start taking a couple tower shots there. Curse of the Sad Mummy comes out, but we see a flash and a shot coming across the map from Senna, is able to keep LTY alive, and he picks up that kill.
Yep, Dawning Shadow coming out from Senna, able to save in the top side.
Got engaged down here in the bot lane. There's not a lot of resources available for them. We do see Cold Blaster's already used that. Samira, Gua, going golden, getting her those shots. She did take a lot of damage, but unfortunately is not quite able to pick up the kill, and they're going to go down. That is going to be a double kill going over to the Zac.
That Zac did so much damage in that fight. Cold Blaster was mostly zoned off, but Cold Blaster was able to output, Beshiwat was able to output so much damage on the Zac, and now has 3 kills to his name, and has been farming, so we're going to see the Zac pick up quite a few items. Going to be very strong, especially as we get later into the game. The amount of disruption that this champion can provide for his team is going to be a massive boon for the Church of Alfonso.
Waiting in the wings here. He's looking for an engage. He throws out some attacks, but he just barely mentions the smite was able to come out. Beshi trying to bait him under tower, as we see that Cold Blaster is just able to pop off and do so much damage to him.
Yeah, a little weird for trying to be down here, just trying to shove this wave in, deny some of the minions from their own bot lane, as we see that Onbo is down 2 levels on the Beshiwap right now. The Swain pick sort of being exploited by the farming Zac that Beshiwap has been playing.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Senna is able to just hang back so far and use this Zac in order to farm up and get some poke off that they basically don't have to worry about any of these engages that TAS is trying to throw out, which means that these fights just don't go in their favor.
Yeah, so as we look across the lanes, we see a very small advantage for K1ZZ's Viego on the top lane, about 8 CS, even though he's been down in kills to LTY's Echo.
K1ZZ getting jumped on once again and taking so much damage.
Yeah, this Echo's building tank items, but it doesn't seem to affect the base damage at all. So much damage that LTY is putting out onto K1ZZ.
That Z-Drive Resonance, the 3-hit auto passive, it just does so much damage when he's able to proc it off. And it's just basically letting him poke out this Viego from a distance with being able to hit him at ranged. So it's like that's what's really causing him the problems.
Absolutely. Looking over at the mid lane, RHC has also been able to build a gold lead for themselves, especially with Gangplank's passive and the parlay getting extra gold from the minions. Going to be a pretty decent advantage there over in the bot side. The farm advantage is towards Team Asorth, but that's just what comes with the nature of these Senna compositions, where you have a melee champion trying to farm, especially with 2 champions that can dish out a lot of poke damage. It's easy to see why he'd be down about 10 CS, but it's not too much.
No, not too much at all, and it's very much a situation where we can just see that good use of that gold passive right there, where the last person who gets the hit gets the ward gold, but at the same time so does the support using the sweeper. So that's going to be a lot right there. We do see that anytime Viego ends up leaving this lane, Echo just destroys these tower plates, and that's just putting him so far behind.
Yeah, I'm actually terrified that this might be the return of tank Echo top. I've got some bad memories of previous seasons where that's been around, and Oh man, LTY is giving me flashbacks.
Yep, and now we have the second Drake picked up for the side of TAS, but at the same time, that was a Rift Herald taken for the side of COF, and that's going to mean that if they drop this Rift Herald in the top lane, that is a dead top tower, giving LTY plenty of space to engage. K1ZZ trying to get some damage off onto this Echo, but he's a level down, so he's not quite able to do enough to him in order to really hit him hard. I mean, just look at that. He's trying to go in, but LTY just basically bashes his skull in.
Yeah, even though that Divine Sunder has come through, it's just not enough. Going to ult forward.
Yeah, we got an ult trying to get the damage out. K1ZZ thinks he can win that, but he doesn't quite have the damage to finish off the Echo. That is going to basically leave him under tower. He might be trying to bait out the rest of this engage. So hopefully K1ZZ doesn't take the bait.
Yeah, Viego shouldn't be able to secure this. The Echo still has
Gua getting a good block on the damage from Senna and a nice dodge to avoid the bounce from Beshi. At the same time, we see that Anvo's going in. Nice pullback. Beshiwab getting locked down under the Swain ultimate. He's taking damage from it, but unfortunately, it just isn't doing a lot to him. That was an interesting reaction as Paytime tried to get the bandage toss, does manage to actually land it, which is going to leave Shadows very vulnerable, taking a lot of damage from the Gangplank and the Amumu, and they're basically going to roam down to the bot lane.
Yeah,
but they're not going to find anything.
Yep, that champion can Q twice now, as we saw Shadows go down, but
Beshi jumping, dodging around. That is the way you use the Gua dash. Unfortunately, that means the Gangplank ultimate is going to find it. That is not a projectile, so the Blade World doesn't block it. He's going to go down to Gangplank. In the meantime, up here, B-Try has turned into rust, and he's getting a lot of damage onto LTY, but unfortunately, the tank is just so strong. But look at that knockup and the shutdown going over to B-Try. In the meantime, we have a nice engage on this bot lane as a dive comes out, but the Rift Herald's been dropped in the mid lane, allowing for COF to pick up 2 towers just from that set of engages.
Yeah, just so much just exploded all over the map at once, and we're going to see Church of Alfonso take so much from it. They win the engage in the bot lane, and then they use the Herald in the mid lane to take 2 full towers. That's going to be so much gold going over to them. Meanwhile, B-Try finds a way to get active on the map in response. Gonna grab a shutdown onto that horrifying tank Echo top lane, relieve K1ZZ a little bit, allowing them to get a solid about 15 CS lead, and a lot of tower damage might be able to take it down.
And TAS has finally gotten Viego active across this map. Now that he's gone Rust, he is able to be a lot more tanky. We do see right there K1ZZ backing off a little early, trying to avoid the stun from the Echo. Just needs one more auto attack on that tower. It's got like 10 HP left. LTY taking advantage of the fact that K1ZZ wants to push this, and he's baiting out the engage. Does manage to hit the Time Winder, gets a lot of damage off right there from the double hits on that stack. Gets the passive off. Look at this. K1ZZ trying his best to get this wave to crash. Once he does, he's able to take this tower, but RHC's already here to stop it. We've got a TP, though, coming out as Shadows 21's coming to join this most likely. There we go. Comes diving in, gets the taunt off onto the Gangplank. Gangplank's getting really, really low. K1ZZ's got the reset from the heals. Hopefully, if he's able to hit this off right here, but unfortunately, it doesn't seem like he's quite able to. RHC eating a orange, able to get himself to stay alive, doing a lot right there. Viego has not gone down yet. We do see that he's able to get a little bit of engage, not taking the ultimate, though, not getting the heal reset, though. He's going to fall to the double kill going over to Amumu.
Yeah, I'm curious what happened there. The Kano didn't come out, wasn't able to take out Echo. The big healing on target ability. That's what you need.
And in the meantime, we got an engage down here on the bot side. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but it looks like this fight is getting shut down by the lockdown from the Senna, keeping Swain from being able to use that ultimate for any effectiveness. But at the same time, Beshi's like, it's okay, I'm going to go ahead and dive in. We see Anvo going gold and staying alive. Blade World's coming out, but unfortunately, like I said, that does not block the Gangplank damage. We see the Flash coming out trying to avoid it, but it's already too late as Cold Blaster finishes off Anvo and Gua.
Yeah, they're really exploiting this Swain pick as 2 teleports come down.
Once again, this fight isn't really over, folks. We see the lockdown coming out from Senna. K1ZZ getting caught out as Beshiwap is rotating around the backside, trying to catch him. There's a ward right there, so he's going to get pulled back into that fight. RHC's trying to find an engage, but isn't quite able to, though.
Yeah, not quite able to find anything from that good response teleport to make sure that the teleport in.
Oh, there we go. K1ZZ trying to stay on this tower, trying to stave off the inevitable, keep the tower alive. Senna, in the meantime, just poking it out. This tower's going to fall any second now.
And this Mountain Drake's going to spawn so far. Asorth has gotten the first two, but I don't think they're going to get this one. The map control.
There's so much prio on the side of COF. They're able to basically get in on these fights. Gua unable to use that good block of the bandage toss, however, is going to allow them to possibly do something here. We do see them get absolutely bursted out, though. Look at the damage onto Gua as they get completely decimated by the Gangplank. RHC going in onto the back line, and that's just going to be COF cleaning it up.
Yeah, I think K1ZZ saw that there was a really low health champion and
thought,
Beshi,
unfortunately, he manages to catch yet another fight right there. That's going to be Anbo going down, Gua going down with the flash curse going over the wall. Church of Alfonso has basically shut this game down.
Absolutely, as they're going to walk over to the Dragon, they have accrued for themselves an 8,000 gold lead, and that's going to be nearly impossible for Asorth to overcome. The Swain hasn't been able to do anything in these fights, and Kane is getting caught out here by LTY and Cold Blaster.
Yep, we got a fight going on right here in the bot lane. B-Try getting exceptionally low. We see the Gua B-Try trying to get the ultimate from Kane. It just doesn't manage to actually get it. The Spectral, there's just not enough he can do. Blue team takes down the Dragon in the meantime. Was that a solo take by Amumu?
Yeah, there was plenty of time to do it. All sorts of prio. You can just walk up and take it. Junglers get so much passive healing from just hitting monsters that any jungler can really solo the Dragon after level 5.
At least that's until patch 11.20, because that is one of the things getting nerfed. Or at least the smite healing's getting nerfed.
Yeah, I think that's still the passive healing's still going to be there, but LTY caught
Yep, B-Try jumping in on LTY, wants to finish this off, get himself a revenge kill. He gets stunned though, but the knockup's going to come out, and that means he's going to get taken out.
Yeah, B-Try is picking up a lot of gold, been the benefactor of a few shutdowns now across the map, and is the silver lining for Asorth right now. This Kane is very strong, but the other members of Asorth have fallen very far behind their counterparts on the Church of Alfonso, so we're going to have to see if B-Try can pull some heroics and get this game back.
That's a very thin silver lining on a massive cumulonimbo, though. So, unfortunately, I don't think TAS is going to be able to use it to create any kind of lightning in a bottle. It's like that's really what they've got to do to try and come out of this game on top.
Absolutely. So, looking towards what's coming up next, the Baron is up. Neither team's going to be looking to take it just yet. Really going to need some sort of big fight to break out before that happens, and so far both teams are sort of going back to a passive farming kind of style. Wait until cooldowns are up, just wait until the opportunity arises.
Oh, Shadows 21. Was it? That's the second time LTY has done this, where he's zoned somebody off of a tower from one auto attack.
Yeah, that's just funny coincidence.
Oh
B-Try's going to find a pretty nasty flank.
Just avoiding the knockup from the Kane right there. We got the ultimate coming out from... there's just so much going on right now. Unfortunately, there's nothing that TAS is able to do. All of the damage they've got coming out does manage to allow them to pick up a shutdown. We do see Samira getting a massive amount of healing from that ultimate as they do their demon trigger. We got so much damage coming out, though, from the Gangplank. Just look at the amount that Barrel did right there, completely blowing up the faces of Team Asorth. That is a huge amount of double kill. Oh, my goodness.
So many souls everywhere for Cold Blaster to pick up. Church of Alfonso, we're going to march this right over to the Baron, and that's basically going to be it for the game. It'll probably take a few more minutes for the Church of Alfonso to really knock this one in, but that fight was so important. It started going the way of Asorth in the beginning, with K1ZZ finally getting a reset, able to pick up the Zac, but unfortunately, the damage from the mid lane, from the bot lane, from the support Swain just isn't there to back up the Viego and the Kane, who were finding early success in that fight. And then RHC with those barrels dealing so much damage onto the back line of Team Asorth. And wow, explosive fight for Church of Alfonso.
Church of Alfonso has started to crack open the seals for Team Asorth. There's just not much they can do to stop this Ragnarok from coming, unfortunately, as the end times are very, very near.
Yep. We'll see what B-Try can do on this Kane, but so far it hasn't been enough. Not able to get onto these key targets and get rid of them. The Viego only finding one reset this game so far.
Look at that, Zac trying to jump in on a K1ZZ. K1ZZ just, unfortunately, is too close. He's taking so much damage. Like, just look at that nice little chunk from barely anything coming out of COF.
Yep. Zac with the unstable matter, the W just does like a flat 6 or 7% health, and that's going to be plenty onto this.
We got a cold knock-up right there coming out onto RHC, but RHC is not going down without a fight. Kane getting a nice bit of damage off, but it's not going to matter as it just gets completely shut down by the shield. That Shiwap is going to take down Anbo in the background. We see Shutdown coming out as Viego gets a kill as well, but the double kill on the Samira means that that's going to be a fallen member of Team Azeroth down, and unfortunately we see that COF was not in fact running away. They were going to get reinforcements. B-Try and K1ZZ now have to basically try and dodge so much to get out of this. We do see them able to pick up a Shutdown though, but there's a lockdown Kane. He's not able to escape. We see that K1ZZ getting the reset though, dives onto Cold Blaster, is not able to pick up a kill though. He's locked down, taking so much damage as COF just ace Team Azor.
Yeah, and I think that fight that just went down perfectly describes how this game went. Even though we're seeing K1 and ZZ and B-Try accomplish good things, get big shutdowns, get the Viego resetting. It doesn't matter when Zach is 2v1ing your bot lane. So far, Gua and Anbo have a combined KDA of 1, 13, and 4. They have been struggling, and as a result, Azeroth has not been able to find anything in these fights, even though the Kayn and the Viego have been so strong. There's just too many members of Church of Alfonso for those two champions to take down.
But unfortunately, the fact that they've only managed to take down one turret, because that bot lane turret is still one sneeze away. Means
yeah,
that
it's so close.
It's so close. It's so close to going down. And that's going to be the second Mountain Drake picked up for the side of Church of Alfonso, which means that the resistances are just going to be that much stronger. And so that they're going to be that much tankier, and it's just going to be that much harder to take them out.
Yeah, and even though that Kayn does do percent health damage, the resistances are going to stop the damage that Kayn can put out. It's going to halt the damage of Divine Sunder. Even though these champions have a lot of health, it's the resistances that are really going to shut down the percent health damage that Azeroth have been using. And so picking up that Mountain Drake is going to help their sustainability quite a bit.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And there we see the Sunfire Echo top. Tank Echo is back, baby. Get ready for the nightmare to return.
Yep, and as we take a look at the gold, we can see that across the board, except for the Kayn, there's massive gold swings for the side of Church of Alfonso. The Zac has 5,000 gold on the support Swain, but also 2,000 on to Gua's Samira. A lot of damage.
Though. We got B-Try just absolutely wrecking face on LTY as he managed to take him down solo.
No chrono break. I'm very surprised.
I think he may have realized that it was a little too late.
Yeah, so nice pick from B-Try. Helps to swing things a little in their favor. But one other thing that was absolutely devastating when it came to the gold difference was the mid lane. Gangplank had nearly 5,000 gold, I believe. Maybe it was a little less than that, but so much gold on Shadows 21 Galleon.
Oh, Gua, you can't be over here. Look how much damage that Senna does to you. Look, run away, Samir, run. Dawning Shadow comes out, but it just misses the damage shot. We see that, oh my goodness, overstep by the Senna as Cold Blaster gets taken out by 4 members of TAS that just showed up right there.
And that is what we call a masterful bait by Gua, finding themselves out of position, but because every single member of Azeroth is there to back them up, it's actually Cold Blaster who's too far out. And that is going to be another pick for the side of Azeroth. They've picked up a couple of these now that sort of put in doubt whether or not Church of Alfonso sealed.
We got a nice route coming out on B-Try. B-Try is just a little bit outside of the tower range though, so he's not going to matter. We got a nice nug-up coming on to Beshwap, but the Curse of the Sad Mummy's going to get a nice stun off onto the rest of the members of TAS. They are going to be completely broken up as there's nothing they can do. They are just too stunned to do anything. Gua is getting caught out as well as they are just dancing around. 4 members of the Chrono Break would have taken him down if RHC hadn't.
Yep, and all 5 members of Church of Alfonso are walking directly to the base, and K1ZZ has just started the recall, so that's going to be the inhibitor that goes down absolutely without a doubt, and Church of Alfonso likely going to look to end this one off of the solid fight where K1ZZ...
Not quite. They're going to go for that Baron that comes up in 3 seconds.
All right, they're going to take the safe call, go towards the Baron, even though that there's only one member left in the base. On Bo's death timer was just a few seconds. So here comes the Swain, and then here comes the Galio, here comes the Samira. So smart call, head over to the Baron, take that down before the members of Asorth are able to get back onto the map. Shouldn't be too much of a problem.
No, they're going to start this up. They're going to be looking for TAS to try and contest, and that's exactly what they want. They'll get the damage off. And I know the Silver Fox is really far behind, but you can still swoon for Swain.
Yeah, the Swain hasn't been able to get much so far.
No, B-Try, you're locked down and you're taking so much damage, you're getting knocked up, but at the same time, you're going to go inside of the Amumu. You're going to jump over the wall, trying to find an escape, but unfortunately, they've got 3 members of COF waiting for you right over there. Chrono Break over the wall, Dawning Shadow getting a nice shot off, but it's going to get shut down by the Samira, and that's going to be a nice bit of damage from the trigger coming out, but it's not going to be enough. They are too far behind. TAS is going to fall, and that is going to be game.
Yep, Church of Alfonso locking this one up. Solid team fight, finding B-Try caught out. There weren't the Gallia ultimate wasn't there from Shadows 21, so there was no sort of instantaneous peel that could come out. So Church of Alfonso, with a very solid, bloody game of League of Legends, takes down Team Asorth 37-12 in 29 minutes. That was a good game of League of Legends.
That was a good game of League of Legends, and that is going to be the execute coming out as the turret takes down Paytime. That is going to be game for Church of Alfonso, as they have knocked Sense really hard into Team Asorth.
Yeah, this was really a tale of 2 sides of the map. If you look at how this one went down, K1ZZ's Viego and B-Try's Kane were able to get a lot done this game and almost turned a lot of these critical fights. But unfortunately, Gua, Onbo, and Shadows 21 were all so far behind their counterparts that they weren't able to support the members of their team that did get ahead. So it was so tough for Team Asorth. But they fought back.
They fought back and they fought hard, but it looked like Church of Alfonso had a pretty good idea how to deal with Team Asorth, and that is by you take out that bot lane. Not much more to really talk about this game, just looking at these graphs right here. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with an interview with our winning team, Church of Alfonso. Hello, folks, and welcome back. I am Shargan. I have joining me on the interview desk, Church of Alfongo's bot laner on the Senna from last game, Cold Blaster. Cold Blaster, how you doing?
I'm good. Thank you.
You know, it seemed like y'all had a pretty chill bot lane, and you were like just able to coolly take care of it. So, can you kind of describe what it was? What was your expectation going up against Onbo and Gua on this one?
I'm not gonna lie. The bot lane did not look very good coming into Champ Select because the lanes just didn't seem like a good matchup. We thought we were kind of gonna get fucked, but I don't know. Me and Beshi are just better than them, I guess, because they didn't really do anything, and we kind of just got to farm, and eventually we just 2v2 killed them, and it was over from there.
Yeah, it's like it seems like their bot lane was really struggling this time around. But the same thing with their mid lane. So it's like LTY was really the only one who seemed to be struggling with their lanes. What was y'all's comms like during most of those the early fights?
The early fights, a lot of the fights we took were around top side. So it was just kind of like how to, play the fights, whether we should peel back, kite back, or focus a target, focus someone down. Like, I don't know. I wasn't in many of the early fights. There was the one dragon fight, I think, where Beshi was kind of calling for an engage on I think it was the King of the Swain, and looked kind of grief, but he went in, and we went with it, and then we died 3 times, or all 3 of us died, and then we just basically decide, okay, we're gonna wait until we hit level 6, we hit our spikes, then we're gonna fight them. And we hit level. They didn't do anything with the lead, like they just kind of let us farm. So after we hit level 6, we hit our spikes, we killed them, and then we did that like over and over again.
Yeah, it seemed like once you guys started getting that snowball rolling, there wasn't really much TAS was able to do. So you were able to win that victory pretty handily, which makes me want to ask you about your next game, which is going to be on the 4th versus BBZ, Blue Bayou Zoo. So can you kind of give me some insight into how you guys are feeling about that matchup?
BBZ looks kind of bad right now, so we kind of just think they're washed, and we're going to dumpster them. So,
all right.
Seems like a pretty easy matchup.
Well, you heard it here, folks. Cold Blaster, unless you got anything else you'd like to say?
No.
No? Okay. All right. So with that, folks, we're going to go ahead and close it out. Want to say thank you so much for dropping by. Remember to tune in on Thursday for the first day of the Luna League. It's going to be a pretty exciting matchup. We'll be having some good games. That'll be at 4:30 Pacific time. So remember to tune in then.